Hello and welcome to the WriteCome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled, You're Either Going Forwards or You're Going Backwards. Now, I remember hearing the great Bob Proctor say many years ago in one of his audio programs that you're either growing or you're disintegrating, that there is no such thing as a comfort zone, that a comfort zone is simply an illusion. And if you think that you can stay in that same spot for the rest of your life, you will be sadly mistaken, because things will change. You know, if we look back at those people many, many years ago who thought, well, you know, if I get a job when I'm 18, if I stay with this company for the rest of my life until I'm 65 or whatever retirement age it is, you know, I can be guaranteed that if I show up every day, if I do the exact same actions, I can be guaranteed my job until I'm 65. But as progress has moved on, as computers have moved in and everything has become either automated or robots have been added or whatever, unfortunately people are finding out that, you know, that comfort zone or that job security isn't there anymore. And you'll find that in other aspects as well too. You know, with everything at the moment, with the COVID thing, with everybody staying at home and doing online shopping, you're never ever going to see the the high street the exact same way as it was before. You're never going to see all those shops open anymore. You'll probably see maybe more coffee shops or whatever taking their place, but you'll never see as many retail places open as there were before, because I assume those who maybe have closed down, maybe because maybe the bank has closed them down, or maybe they just will never ever open again, you know, you will find some of them will be gone and will never appear. But you'll also find people who have maybe set up their businesses at home or their shops at home, and they are selling their products online, and they're posting all their products and garments out. You know, when they realize how much money they're saving by not having to pay rent on premises and probably not having to pay staff, and how convenient it is just to have a web store open 24/7, not relying on paying staff to open up the premises every morning and lock it, and then worrying about maybe the place being robbed or whatever. When you see how convenient it is to run all your business through, you know, an online business, or maybe if you were doing some kind of coaching where you needed to travel all over the world, a lot of people have, you know, realized now that how easy it is to do a Zoom call where, you know, beforehand maybe they need to travel to do one-on-one. Now all of a sudden they can do a Zoom class where they can have maybe 10, 15, 30, 40, however number of people all at the one session, and they're making it far more money, and they don't need to travel. They can do it in their pajamas or whatever, but they don't need to go to all those different locations. I'm sure a lot of those people are going to realize, you know what, this is the way to go. Why would I need to queue up at airports and stand in security and all that and travel for thousands of miles and then go looking for hotels when I can just simply switch on my PC or my laptop or whatever and just do a Zoom call in my front room, and I've got the rest of my day to myself. I have no expenses of travel. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. And there's going to be so many of those people who are never going to go back to the way their life was before. And unfortunately, anybody who is thinking then, you know, if they just set out this COVID thing, that everything is going to return back the way it is, unfortunately that is not going to be the case. So it was only when I was thinking about that, when I heard that many, many years ago by the great Bob Proctor, it never really clicked into place. I never really thought about it much. And it was only recently when I was just digging deep into one of Randy Gage's books that he also brought up the thing about progress and that everything is moving on. You know, if you imagine our health, our businesses, and whatever we are doing right now is almost on a conveyor belt that is slowly kind of traveling backwards. For us to stay where we are, maybe our earnings, maybe our health or whatever, we're going to have to start taking more actions. You know, if I wanted to improve my health at all, if I'd done nothing about it at all, that slow, gradual, you know, over time of me traveling backwards, you know, I would find that I'd probably start putting on weight. I'd probably, a lot of things, my health would probably go, maybe whatever health risks I would have from putting on weight would probably start happening. And for me to kind of think that there is a comfort zone or a safe spot for my weight or whatever. Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. I need to get out, I need to exercise, and I need to take action to keep me ahead of that speed of that slow traveling treadmill. And again, too, in your business, if you think, well, what you are doing right now is going to be satisfactory in the weeks and months and years ahead, it may be for the next couple of weeks, it may be for the next couple of months, but you are going to find that if you don't keep up with what's happening right now, if you don't get smarter in your business, if you don't have a look and see what niches other people are going into, unfortunately you're going to lose out because you're going to slowly travel backwards. So if I have any advice maybe for you and also for me, is not to get into that rut of that illusion of a comfort zone, because as Bob Proctor says, you're either growing or you're disintegrating. So for you to keep ahead of whatever's going to happen in business, or keep ahead in your earnings, or just trying to build a secure kind of spot for yourself, unfortunately you're going to have to keep stretching yourself forward. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do actions you probably never thought you would have done in the past. You're going to have to maybe start recording podcast episodes to start building an audience, or you're going to have to do Facebook lives, or you're going to have to start recording podcast YouTube videos, or you're going to have to start growing an email list or something like that. But you're going to have to do something that is going to keep you ahead of the slow grind of the conveyor belt that is drawing you backwards away from where you are right now. Because as Bob says, you're either growing or disintegrating, and for you to continue doing the actions you are doing right now, unfortunately it is going to mean that you are slowly going to disintegrate. Society is going to move on forward, technology is going to move forward, people who are embracing maybe new social media platforms and things like that are going to move ahead of you unless you keep up. Now that doesn't mean that you need to do exactly everything that they are doing. It just means you need to kind of look at stretching yourself and taking on more actions, or seeing, is there any way you can automate some of the stuff that you're doing? Is there any way you can outsource it? Is there any way you can draw your customers to you in some way, like attract them, like I've said in a couple of episodes ago, I think it was the measuring tape sales tip. Is there any way you can attract more customers to you? Is there any change you can make to your business? Because unfortunately, if you believe that where you are right now is going to help in the weeks or months ahead, unfortunately you're going to be like those shopping stores that think when all this is going to be over that things are going to go back to normal. But unfortunately the high street and everything is going to be far changed, because people are going to see how convenient it is to shop online. People are going to see how convenient it is to take their businesses online, not have to pay for staff, not have to hire premises, not have to worry about this or that because of the convenience. So I want you to think about what you are doing right now. If you are in a comfort zone, if you just think that life is nice and cushy now at the moment, unfortunately you are going to find that you are going to go slowly backwards unless you keep up with what's happening right now, unless you stretch yourself, unless you start doing things that other people aren't doing right now, building audiences, showing up in different various platforms or in different formats. Unfortunately you are going to find yourself slowly drifting by. And as I said, I heard that thing from Bob Proctor many years ago, and it just simply glazed over my head. And it's only when I have been recently reading Randy Gage's latest book, Radical Rebirth, I've kind of been piecing everything together, and it makes far more sense. And when I look around and see what's happening right now, this is just a classic example of how we are either going forwards or going backwards. So think about that today as you are looking at your business. Are you stretching yourself? Is there any way maybe you could be stretching yourself or stepping forward from whatever speed you are slowly drifting back on? Because I want you to have a good business, not just now but in the years and months ahead. And unfortunately, if you're not putting any actions into place to stay ahead of that kind of slow treadmill that is taking you backwards, unfortunately you're going to slip backwards and you're going to lose out because of it. So as always, I hope I've helped somebody today. If you'd like to reach out to me, if you'd like me to cover anything in a podcast episode, or if you just like to just share your comment or whatever, if you want to send an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. And if you'd like to know more about what I do, if you want to do a search for Writecom, you'll find the content all over the web. But if you want to go to the main website itself, if you are interested in stretching yourself, getting into writing, self-publishing or podcasting, whatever, if you want to go over to Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find the content all over the web. And as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecom.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.